Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean. Okay, guys, I have a bit of a different video for you all today. I decided to do this video very informally because I have some really important things I need to talk to you about. Now, I am going to get into talking about Ascension a little bit later on, but before I do, I need to share something with you guys that's really kind of personal to me. I'll just come right out with it. I really want to disassociate myself from the new age. Oh my goodness, right? Let me explain why. Now, this does not mean that I'm going to do anything different with my work. I'm still going to be doing everything the same. I'm going to be here on YouTube the same way I always have. But I've come to a point with the new age thinking, or whatever you want to call it, that I really feel that I need to step away from the whole thing. And here is why. There seems to me there is a lot of confusion. There's a lot of conflicting ideas. There's disinformation. There's a lot of things, guys, I really don't agree with. And I don't want to put myself out there under the assumption that I am in agreement with it all. I'm a part of it all or whatever, because I know, actually, you know what, guys, I've had this problem for years because I've been doing this work for a long time. A lot of times people have assumed that I'm into certain things that I am not into just because I'm a channel, just because I'm definitely speaking from an extraterrestrial perspective, just because of all the things that I talk about. So I need to be really clear with you guys that I really do not wish to be associated with the new age. Now, I've watched the new age kind of go through a lot of iterations over the years, and where it is right now, I don't think is healthy in a lot of ways. I feel that there seems to be, with all of the different beliefs and ideas, there seems to be people seem to have a difficult time dealing with the reality of what is happening on this planet. There seems to be a lot of talk about, oh, it's going to happen later on down the road, or good things are happening in another dimension, and it's just getting more and more and more out there. And then when I see people talking about separating from your physical body, you know, your consciousness is here in 5D, your body's in 3D, and this split, which is not how Ascension works, you guys. I need to tell you where I am coming from when it comes to Ascension, so you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, so as you may know, I channel a group of beings by the name of Telstar. We are associated with a much larger confederation that is outside of this universe entirely. There is a reason for that, you guys. The reason is perspective. Okay, there's a lot of issues in this universe, most of them involving duality, suffering. I won't go into it right now, but there's just a lot of issues. A lot of the issues we have on this planet go throughout this universe. It's not just on Earth. So we come from outside of this universe where things exist in the way this universe was meant to exist, so as to maintain perspective. This is not the only planet that I have worked on. This is not the only place that I have done this kind of work on. What's happening here has happened in many other places in the galaxy. It's a very complex situation. Okay, so when I talk about Ascension, I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm not speaking from the new age group think pot of ideas. Okay, so then I can say to you, well, I don't agree with the law of one. Maybe there's stuff in there that I could say, yes, I agree with that. A lot of it I don't agree with. I don't agree with Dolores Cannon entirely. I'm saying those things because I have my own actual experience. Okay, so I finally got to a point where when I feel like when you are associated with the whole new age thing, we've reached a point in today's world where a lot of you are expected to toe the line. You are expected to believe what the whole group think is talking about. I can't do that, you guys. It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to all of you. I need to speak to you from a real, true place. So the reason I'm saying I wish to disassociate from the whole New Age group think, whatever you want to call it, is because I just cannot communicate effectively with that kind of pressure to conform. I recently even had someone who was outraged that I had an original thought. True. Okay, they thought it was totally wrong that I was not in agreement with all the other stuff. Now, I'm sure you guys look at a whole lot of stuff online. You probably follow a lot of people. When I look at a lot of the stuff that's being said and how more and more and more excuses are being made for what's happening on this planet without actually dealing with it, I don't know how you guys navigate through all that stuff. I'm being totally honest. I could not. If I had to try to put all that stuff together, I don't think I could do it. I really don't. So, more power to you guys if any of you have been able to piece all of that stuff together. I don't do that because I don't find it necessary. Ascension is actually a really simple process to understand. And I'm going to go into that in just a moment. Okay, so let me start with just a simple idea. Planet Earth, all right? So we come here on this planet. We are here to support this planet. We're here to support its ascension, its evolution. So I always like to use the example of, have you guys seen the old Star Trek TV show and the early movies with Captain Kirk? And that's my favorite. That's the one I really like. So using that as an example, can you imagine if Captain Kirk and those guys, I don't even remember their names, but came to a planet that was having a lot of trouble and they went there to help. They land on the planet, a lot of bad stuff is happening, and they're like, we can't cope with this. Well, we could just say that it's going to happen later on, or we could just say that it's happening in it's going to happen in another dimension. We could just say, well, there's all kinds of things we could just say, but actually dealing with what is really going on, we can't do that. So that doesn't make sense, right? So if we are here to help, we really need to have the inner strength to be able to deal with reality as it actually is on the physical planet itself. This is the planet we are standing on, you guys. We're not on a planet somewhere else. We're on this planet. So anyway, I kind of figure if I just say, hey, I want to disassociate from the New Age, then you know what's cool about that, you guys? I can say whatever I feel needs to be said. I can say whatever I want and no pressure, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit now about ascension. First, I want to talk to you about just the basic essence of true ascension, which we are not doing here at this particular time. The basic essence of true ascension in a world, in a universe where it's possible, is really very simple. It consists of having absolute total command over your DNA, your physical body, all your energy bodies, the entire totality of who you are. Full 100% command over that system. That's number one. Once you've established that command, and that is an evolutionary process for sure. So you are in command of the entire system. You have the power through command over your DNA specifically in terms of, let's say, a planetary realm that would be similar to this one, not exactly the same, but similar. You have the ability to transmute the energy of the entire body, raise its frequency so high that you, the best way I can say it, because let me just digress for a moment. It's also important to understand that the language we use on this planet is extremely limited as a communication tool. It's linear, it's one-dimensional, it's time-oriented from past to future. It's very, very difficult to communicate every single detail, every nuance, every piece of what there is to know about doing this in a linear, one-dimensional language that is actually very, very primitive. And that would hold true for any of the languages on planet Earth, not just English. So essentially, if you, I don't even think you'd use the word incarnate in these much higher realms of existence. It's more that if you place yourself in a certain world and you, by your command of yourself, of your body, and how far you've come in your evolutionary process, you manifest a body that is in perfect union with that planet, that is a perfect manifestation of that world that you find yourself on. You stay there for as long as you want. You do whatever you went there to do. And then at such a point as you feel complete, you can reconstruct that energy back into your original self. It's so hard to describe in English. This feels so awkward. I hope you guys, let me just say this. Try to read between the lines. Try to intuit what I'm saying, because I feel like these words are way too cumbersome to describe the absolute elegance and beauty and perfection of the process that I'm describing. So see if you can kind of get behind the words and feel a little bit of what I'm saying. It's such an elegant, natural, incredible process. And then it becomes that body. And even if you took elements of that planetary realm, if you took elements of that on to create that body for that planet, you still are going to reconstruct that energy. You're going to transmute that energy. You're going to use alchemy, if that's probably the closest English word I can think of, to bring that back into yourself. So you end up becoming more of who you are, more empowered, more real, more experienced. You see, that's what normal, natural ascension looks like. We don't do that here. Okay, so that's one element of real ascension. Let's talk for a moment now about ascension as it would apply or pertain to planet Earth. So the first thing you'd have to take into account is, what are the physics of this planet? And what are the physics of the universe within which this planet resides? The problem with the universe we're in, as you've heard me say before, is that the physics of this universe are distorted because of an experiment that was done, well, it wasn't even done in time, so I can't even say way back, because it was prior to the existence of time. I'm going to have to talk about that in the future, maybe in other videos. I can only give you guys pieces at a time, because otherwise it would just be way too long and be way too much to absorb. So let's just say there are what I call faulty physics in this universe that are the reason we have things like death, suffering, violence, war, the food chain, the density of this planet. All of it together is a problem. Now, you have to take all of that into consideration. And there's also the extraterrestrial involvement with this Earth. There are other species who are involved with this Earth as well. But we really don't even need to talk about that, because the best way to approach ascension, you guys, is one step at a time. Just taking one step at a time, which is very different than just theorizing and philosophizing and all of this. It's more about ascension is an active process. It's not a passive process by any stretch of the imagination. And here is why. Because we human beings are creators, right? Our presence on a planet, in other words, the presence of human beings on a planet is an asset. It is meant to be an asset. So when you're talking about ascension, you need to take into account the fact that any planet, let's just speak of this one, exists in a very, very complex situation. We don't have to know about all of the complexity in order to focus on our ascension. We don't have to know about every single piece, every single extraterrestrial, every species of life. We don't have to know everything, because if we know too much, we end up doing nothing, right? So it's much better to just say one foot at a time, step by step. So that's why I'm trying to give you the simplest version I can. So you have planet Earth. It's got lots of problems. It's got problems in the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, because Violence in the wild, violence among all the species here in terms of the food chain should not be happening, you guys. That is a problem, okay? So anyway, let's just look at the planet as a whole. So anytime you have a planet that needs to evolve, that needs to ultimately ascend, and understand that ascension is evolution. It is merely an acceleration of evolution at particular periods in any planet's journey, okay? So you have a planet that is in trouble. This one has an additional problem, which is AI. You know, we talk about AI related to ourselves, but guys, this planet is suffering from the AI grid that's surrounding it. It's not good for the planet at all. So anyway, you can take any planet in any situation, but basically you might say, okay, this planet needs to evolve. This planet needs to ascend beyond this situation. In other words, ascension is a healing process. It really is a healing process. So human beings are meant to be an asset on a planet in its ascension process. The reason for that is really simple, guys. We as humans are creators, okay? So you have a beautiful blend. Humans are like, they're meant to be the link with much higher forces of nature and of evolution to co-create the ascension and the evolution of a planet. Humans are intended to be the link. They are an extremely important part of the process. So it works like this. We are physically present. In our physical presence on this planet, we are a part of the planet. We embody the earth. We're not separate from earth, okay? That's kind of a weird mind control thing that's happened for a very long time. We're not separate from the earth. We literally embody it. Everything about us holds within it, our physical presence holds within it elements and components. It's almost like we're like a hologram of the planet itself. Okay, so our physical presence is extremely important in the planet's process as well. So why are humans an asset? It's because we are creators. We are powerful creators. So when we are on a planet as human beings, a planet that is in trouble, a planet that needs assistance, a planet that needs to ascend, it is up to the human beings to be evolved enough or to evolve themselves enough to be able to co-create that process with those higher forces. Now, a lot of us might be aware of that already and are already working in that capacity as best we can. So to whatever degree we are able to do that, we are assisting the planet. We're helping the planet to move forward. We're helping the energy and the vibration of the planet to move beyond where it is right now. The thing is, it's because it is a very complex situation. It's a matter of timing. Things don't always work out the way you would hope. It's not like it's some instant magic where, oh, we're just going to ascend just like that. We don't have to do anything. Guys, that's not real. I mean, look around, see it for yourself. I mean, if that was the case, it would have happened thousands of years ago. It would have happened a long time ago. I mean, why wait if it's that simple? If you can just have a magical thing go poof and everybody's ascended, that would have happened a long time ago. See, reason it didn't happen then, and reason it hasn't happened so far is because it's not how it works. So we have our chakra system, right? From the lowest to the highest, because we are a link. We are a link. We're meant to be a link on this planet to the highest possible reality from the planet itself, so that our energy, our presence, our evolution lifts this planet up to where it needs to go. But that takes an effort on our part, okay? Now, you know, everybody who's incarnate here right now, we all incarnated here, we incarnated into a situation that is very troubled, that has a lot of difficulty. So do not blame yourself if you feel like you haven't reached the level that you hoped that you would at this point in time. Because the truth is, we are all doing the absolute best we can do to support this earth, to bring it forward. But we do need to evolve ourselves, you guys. We need to understand the goal, and we need to keep it simple. I cannot emphasize that enough. And that's one of the reasons I said what I said about all the New Age stuff, is it's so complex. It's so convoluted. It's like all this stuff you have to fit together. And by the time you're done, you're in such a quagmire, you can't even figure out your way out. So you end up doing maybe nothing. So the most empowered way to approach ascension is simplicity. Focus on what you need to focus on. Focus on what you need to know. Take those steps one by one. Take those steps in your evolution to evolve yourself. And really, the other thing I want to share with you guys about ascension that I think is so important, it's so important to understand what our role is. What is the role of a human being in the ascension of a planet? That's what you want to focus on. You don't need to be distracted by all this other stuff going on. You just need to focus on your role to be who you really are, because who you really are is so incredibly powerful. I mean, one thing I would suggest that you guys can do as a start is start to pay attention to the vibration of the earth itself. Put your feet on the ground, even in your own house. The earth's energy is powerful. You're going to feel it through the floor, okay? If you can go outside, stand in the grass, that's awesome too. But really tune into the planet's energy. Notice how it's changing. Pay attention. And then understand that you are meant to be the link between this earth and those higher forces of light who wait for us to evolve to a place where we can meet them. Okay? Now I want to share something else with you guys that I really don't like to focus on, which is the whole concept of 5D and moving from 3D to 5D. 5D to me is a very low ceiling. Okay? That's an extremely low ceiling. Really, where we're coming from as Telstar is we want to help you guys have the most powerful vision you could possibly have, because that's what you want to aim for. Okay? You want to aim for something that is so profound, so incredible. It doesn't have a number attached to it. It's beyond numbers. It's beyond mathematics. Okay? There's no reason in the world why you can't focus at that level. So one other thing I want to share with you guys is this planet is at a place where it's got to move quickly, you guys. It's urgent because of AI, as I've told you so many times already. So I want to suggest that maybe you don't have to be so focused on timelines right now. This is why I'm bringing up that focus at the highest possible place. It doesn't have a number. It's beyond mathematics. That place is in your heart, okay? That your heart is that place. So that place is within and it's without. It's very difficult to describe in linear, one-dimensional, primitive language like what we have on this planet. So hopefully you can kind of sense what I'm talking about. If not now, maybe if you spend some quiet time and contemplate that your heart knows that there's a place that is so beautiful, that is so, it's just beyond anything that could be imagined here on this earth. But it's where this earth belongs. And it's where all of us belong. It's where this whole universe belongs. And that's what Ascension is. Ascension is the process of this entire universe evolving out of this situation of duality, of confusion, of strife, of darkness and light and all of that, and moving into that incredible place of where it was always meant to be. And I'll also say to you guys, that place is not boring. Okay, we're going to talk about, it's just all light, it's so boring. You must understand, guys, we cannot imagine from where we sit on this planet, in this galaxy, we cannot imagine what lies beyond. It is literally beyond our imagination. We do not have the reference points. At some point, I think it's important to accept that from planet Earth, from our position on this earth, we do not have all the reference points there are to have. We don't, okay? And that's okay. That's really okay. So I think if you resonate with anything I'm saying here, I think you're going to be a whole lot happier, a whole lot more clear-minded if you just give yourself a chance to clear away all the stuff and just focus very simply. There's planet Earth, this beautiful, beautiful sphere of life and nature and gorgeousness. Mikhail refers to it as a blue jewel in space, okay? So you have this beautiful planet. Then you have ourselves as human beings standing on this planet. We are creators. We're powerful creators. We are the link between the planet and those much higher forces of nature and evolution. Our role is to serve as that link. Okay, we cannot serve as an adequate link unless we evolve ourselves. So that's really, that's what I'd suggest. Just keep it really, really simple. Think about the earth and nature and your own entire physical body, your energy, your consciousness. Be as present as you can possibly be. Evolve yourself as best you can, in as focused a way as you can. Be present, be conscious, be awake, and focus on the highest possible experience of life that this planet, ourselves, and this entire universe is moving towards and is evolving into, and stay focused on that goal, because that is what's going to motivate you, that's what's going to inspire you, and that is what's going to keep the road clear of confusion. Okay, so I truly hope this video has helped you understand a little bit more about Ascension. I hope you guys understand what I meant when I said, I think I want to disassociate from the New Age, okay? It's kind of reminds me of leaving a religion or something. But anyway, that's beside the point right now. Okay, so I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you in the next video. I'll see you in card reading next, and then I will see you in the next video on Tuesday. Much love, everyone. Namaste.